Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss all of the brand new additions to Hockey Ultimate Team in NHL 22. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. All right, so let's kick things off with Hut Champs. It is now switching to a win-based ranking system outside of the top 100. So the top 100 is going to remain the exact same in terms of placement. So if you have a ton of wins, the tie will go based on the typical amount of players and who you played. The harder the opponents, the higher ranking you will be based on your wins. So it is all win-based. That stays the same. But outside the top 100 is a huge change. So outside the top 100, it is based on flat wins. It does not take in your points, all of that, which I think is a great change. Win-based rewards, there's no luck involved in it. So if you hit 15 wins, no matter what ranking you place, let's say early on in the year, everyone plays champs, the best players in the world, you get 15 wins, that might not even get you inside the top 150. It won't matter now because if you hit 15 wins, you are set at that reward. So a great change there. The other thing that I'm noticing, it's not talked about in the deep dive, but there's no guaranteed cards showing in this reward screen, meaning that it looks like it's showing Hut collectibles. I'm not sure what that's going to entail, but if I had to guess, it looks like if you cash in enough collectibles, you're going to get a card. And if that's the case, that is a phenomenal change, because if you don't get inside the top 20 in the world in Hut Champs, you actually get a shot at a card if you save up enough collectibles. And again, that's not confirmed, but just going off of what I see here. It's not mentioned in the deep dive, but it definitely looks like it is changing to that system. So that's a big win for Hut Champs right off the rip. Next up, let's talk about the changes to squad battles. First things first, you can actually change the period length. So if you aren't, looking to play a full 4-minute period, you can play a 2-minute period. Maybe you don't have a lot of time, but you want to bang out some squad battle games. That's an easy way to do it. You will receive less points, so they are adjusted. So if you want to get that top ranking, you're gonna have to play the 4-minute periods as you normally would. The hugest change to squad battles: finally, you can play every game in a week whenever you want. There is no more daily refresh. There's no more playing 4 games every single day and 8 on the weekends. You can play all 37 games in one go if you would like. That is the biggest change and adjustment they could make to squad battles. So no longer are you tied to coming in and play squad battles every single day if you want that top 100. You can play whatever you want, and then if you want to grind squad battles all in one day, have at it. So huge improvements there for squad battles. And then lastly, a quality of life thing. A lot of the offline squad battle community people that play the game consistently have, given feedback on this. They now randomize home and away, meaning that you can no longer just have to play in your away jersey. You can play in your home and away jersey based on, if you get home or away in your squad battle games. So all in all, some pretty good adjustments to squad battles in NHL 22. The next adjustment is in terms of your collection. They've added something called the trade pile now, which I think is a little bit overlooked. This is a really good addition to the game. So how does the trade pile work? Basically, from any screen, whether it be the pack screen, anything like that, you can select players and you will see send all players to the trade pile. So when you're ripping packs and you send it all to the collection, you don't want to sell these cards, you have to go back and enter it. Now it's going to be all in one place. So if you do a big pack opening, maybe you get all your rivals and Hut Champs rewards and you want to go and sell some specifically but want to keep the others, you can go and do that. And then from the trade pile screen, guys, you can compare price. When you hit compare price, it will show you all of the cards currently on the market for that specific player. Huge improvement to NHL 22, just quality of life. Loving this edition. I think it's going to be one of the better features that they actually put in NHL 22 in terms of content and just managing your collection. Now let's talk synergies. So obviously with the addition of XFactors into the game, that's going to add a whole new level of customization and team building with those abilities. But one of the worst aspects of Hut in terms of team building was the team-based synergies, because no matter what, if you wanted to put your favorite player in and you wanted to compete competitively, have a really good team, it didn't really matter if your player didn't have distributor or something like that. Team-based synergies are no more in NHL 22. It is solely player-based synergies, and that is a phenomenal change for team building overall and customization. So no longer do you have to worry about which guys have distributor to make sure that your whole team gets it. It is now going to be specific, and we're going to talk about the customization options specifically on the icons and XFactors in just a little bit, but no more team-based synergies, which is awesome. Another thing they touch on is that there will not be any skating and shooting synergies synergies combined. So you will not see really overpowered synergies. There is one that gives speed as an upgrade, but it doesn't touch your shot or anything like that. So they've done a really good job, and I'm not going to lie, just transparency here. They actually had a meeting with some of the game changers early on in the summer to get our feedback and from more of the hardcore player base to make sure that the synergies were balanced. And I think they've done a pretty good job at launch, just taking a look at them early on. The other thing that they mentioned is that they are going to give player-based synergies for cards almost in a reverse of what that card excels in, meaning that they are going to try and focus on bringing up the weaknesses of a card as opposed to rewarding its strength. So they give an example of McDavid. McDavid's already such a fast card. They're not going to give him a speed synergy to make him overpowered. They're going to do something maybe to bring up his body checking or defensive game, things like that. So a really good addition there as well. All right, so we've already gotten our first look at XFactors and a rough outline of how they are going to work, and they touch on a little bit more in detail in this video. So obviously there's the power-up system where you use coins or power-up collectibles, or at some tiers even their base level item, and again we're going to get into that a little bit more as well. They're going to start about 10 OVR lower than their actual base launch card. So Austin Matthews, is an 80 or an 87 at launch, so his X Factor starts at 77, and you can upgrade him all the way to 88, so +1 at launch for all of the X Factors. After that, the ability to upgrade these cards is going to be based upon live content. So Team of the Week, prime times, event items, all of that kind of stuff that will allow that card to go up in a tier. So you can, if you want to keep Austin Matthews on your team the whole season long, you can do that. And again, the X Factor is going to allow it. So I think the fact that they have zone abilities is obviously awesome, but just the ability to upgrade them makes them an Evo card basically with a cost. As you go as well, you're going to unlock superstar abilities. You're also going to unlock synergy slots, and it shows here you're actually allowed to customize which synergies that you put on each card. So again, there's no more team-based synergies. So if you want to activate, maybe Speedster or Wingman on a bunch of different cards, you can go ahead and choose it once you've unlocked them on certain different ones. You can customize it based on your team build, and it just adds way more flexibility to the team building in Hockey Ultimate Team, which is a huge adjustment and a big improvement to the game. The upgrades will cost, like I said, power-up collectibles and coins. And the one thing that they do mention, to go to the X Factor tier, the master set tier here for this Austin Matthews, they actually show it. It needs the base level card, which means those base cards are really going to hold their value for a long time throughout the year, because you can either pay, an exceptional amount of coins, it would be like 100,000, or just use his base item. So huge value there, and it is really going to impact the market if you are trying to get these X Factor cards. Now, these power-up collectibles, you're going to be able to obtain these from milestones and objectives, and my guess, probably Hut Rush or Rivals, bunch of different things, but it looks like you're going to be able to obtain these power-up collectibles for free by just playing the game, as well as being able to pack them. You can also pack X Factor cards in your just random packs as well. If you want to refund and sell your card, you're going to have to refund first. You will get 50% of the value. So if it costs you 100,000 to go up a tier, it's going to give you back 50,000. So you're not at a total loss, but make sure that while you're upgrading these cards that you take your time to read. The first few upgrades, they're nothing. It basically costs like 5,000 coins to get them to a usable start early on. But after that, it does become pricey, and I'll have a full in-depth video come launch of the game that will give you all of the tips and knowledge that you're going to need for that as well. We also got our first look at Master Icons in NHL 22 with the 86 overall Steve Yzerman. I am not going to lie, say what you want about EA and Hockey Ultimate and all that. The card art this year, guys, is the best in not only NHL, but all of the Ultimate Team modes. Wait until you guys see all of the other stuff. It is phenomenal. They do a great job of taking real-life images and card art and putting a lot of graphic and improvements on it. I love the card art this year, and the Steve Yzerman is just a great one off the rip. But how Master Icons will work this year. So you'll see here that Steve Yzerman has a tier upgrade as well. Every month, the first of the month, you are going to be able to upgrade to the next OVR, a lot like how the fantasy cards worked in NHL 21. So at the beginning of the month, if you've got the 87, as at launch he can go up to 87 overall, you can get the 88 next month. So a great way to keep them all viable, and you can upgrade them at your own pace. Again, it is going to cost coins and whatnot to upgrade them there. And again, some of them will have zone abilities and superstar abilities, not all of them, and customizable synergies depending on which tier you're at. So just again, a lot of cool improvements to the game, and this keeps icons viable throughout the whole year, even if you get them, early on in the game or late, so as you can upgrade them at any point. So just a really good adjustment there for the master icons. Now let's talk about ability limits. So obviously with X Factors being put in the game, there is a point system based on how many X Factors you have and superstar abilities. So within each of these cards that have superstar abilities and zone abilities, there will be a cost to activate them. This limit will make sure that someone doesn't go in with a full zone ability X Factor team. So a good adjustment here to make sure that there is a limit to it. So in this ability limit screen, you'll be able to see all of them on your team and be able to activate accordingly based on the playstyle that you want to have your team play like. Also new to NHL 22 is the X Factor trade-in set. So you can trade in 20 gold players for a random X Factor card, 1 of 5. So if you want a shot at McDavid or Matthews, all of that, you can trade in 20 gold players. This will keep the value of gold players quite high, in my opinion. You can also get X Factor players from packs and seasonal rewards that we'll discuss in a little bit. They've also added in a new 80-plus OVR sets, so you can trade in a bunch of medium-ranked gold players, so the 82, 83s, and you can get a guaranteed higher overall card, which is nice because it then keeps the value of those cards a little bit higher. They have also done away with the monthly reward system, so now it will be transitioned to seasonal rewards. So when you log into the game, you get your daily collectible pack or daily pack, you'll get one of these seasonal rewards, and you'll probably get some in Hut Rush and packs and things like that, so that you can get these rewards throughout the season. Now, they do refresh every 30 days, but if you want to save them up, it lasts the entire season. So instead of every single month, it'll just be now the 4 seasons, which again is a nice little change, nothing huge, but you can go ahead and get like X Factor packs if you save them all up and stuff like that. The team builder sets are back. They are going to work a lot differently this year as well. So no longer will you have to collect every single card to get the team builder item for that specific team. They're going to give you an overall range. So no longer will one card be gated at like 1 billion coins because no one else can get it. Now they've made it where, 70 to 75, those kinds, it requires a certain amount of overalls for that team, whether it's the same card over and over again, it doesn't matter. So this is going to create some, interesting, nice buys early on if you're trying to complete the team builder sets. A little bit more information on that will come out once the game is launched, but it is confirmed that team builder sets are back and that it is now changed to a overall system as opposed to a specific card. We also got our first look at the events that will be coming to NHL 22, starting with the training camp event. This is going to be specific for EA Play, so it's going to offer the people that have EA Play a little bit of a head start in terms of content. Nothing crazy, but you can get additional packs and things like that based on if you haven't been playing EA Play, and again, we'll touch on that in my specific video on what to do if you want to get ahead in your EA Play trial. The other thing is Superstar Origins is the first confirmed NHL event, and you'll see the master icons here, Jaromir Jagr and Austin Matthews. This is awesome. Love the card art this year. And again, I'll have more information on that event when it gets released, and I'll give you all of the info that you want to in terms of what cards to go after and things like that. In the deep dive, Nicholas, the Hut producer, also announces that there is 2 new types of content that will be coming to NHL 22, including Star of the Month and then Plays of the Year. Star of the Month is going to recognize European player standouts from the European leagues, and then Plays of the Year are going to be cards that'll be released when huge moments happen. Think back to, Austin Matthews' 4-goal game, something like that. Ovechkin scoring that insane goal against, Phoenix as an example. It looks like when stuff like that happens, big-time moments, there will be a card that will come out that's boosted for that specific play, which I think is a cool new feature to the game. Also, they did announce that Prime Times and Team of the Weeks will be back for NHL 22. So guys, those are the really big new additions to the game inside of NHL 22. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the most up-to-date NHL 22 content. And make sure that you come back tomorrow on my stream starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We are going to be playing NHL 22 Hockey Ultimate Team throughout the entire day and weekend. So make sure you come check that out. Link is down below. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.